What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nerdy Mark channel. I am Sid the Nerdy Mark, and today I have your review of NXT and 205 Live. Now, before we begin, a couple of quick announcements. First things first, on Christmas Day, I will be putting out my last video of 2018. This will be my last video of the year, and then, of course, I'll take a little break, and then I will be back on January of 2019. With some amazing content for you guys. I'm also wearing the Santa hat because this is technically will be the Christmas episode. Because in theory, if I were to drop an NXT 205 Live review, it would be after Christmas. So that's why I'm doing it now. So Merry Christmas to everybody. And also next week, I will be joining Tim Farley and John Kearns on Armbar Audio, my dear friends that I've made this year, and we will be doing end of the year award ceremony for everything across pro wrestling. So that is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do some really cool stuff on there. I can't wait to share it with you guys. It's going to be a great time. But for now, let's dive right into this week's WWE Network television shows, starting with NXT. NXT began with the captain of Team Kick, Dakota Kai, teaming up with the Genius of the Sky, Io Shirai, mixtape coming soon, to take on Marina Shafir and Jessamyn Duke, Shayna Baszler's two friends and one half of the UFC's Four Horsewomen. This was a very short match, but it really helped showcase what Io Shirai is capable of. This was good stuff. Io Shirai is so amazing to watch in the ring. I did watch the finals of the Mae Young Classic on Evolution. It was fantastic. She did some great stuff in that match, and she showcased a lot more of it here, so I really enjoyed it. She had a lot of homages to Rey Mysterio and Tiger Mask, many other high-flying wrestlers and whatnot, so this was good stuff. And the match ended with Io Shirai getting the victory over Marina Shafir, so the faces won and get some retributions over the heels. And because of this, later on, William Regal, the general manager, added Io Shirai to the Fatal 4-Way to determine who is going to challenge Shayna Baszler for her NXT Women's title. Personally, I am rooting for Shirai, and I hope she wins because I think that would be really cool. Feast your eyes, everybody, because it is time for the debut of Dominik Dijakovic. I am not going to get that name right ever because it is too complicated and too hard. I don't know why they couldn't have just called him Donovan Dijak or Chris Dijak. I don't know why they had to change his damn name. He is, of course, debuting against Aaron Mackey, and this was a very one-sided match. Also a very quick match. The match ended with Dijakovic, whatever, hitting the Feast Your Eyes finisher onto Aaron Mackey in a matter of minutes. And so, yeah, impressive debut. I do hope that him and Punishment Martinez get in the ring, because that would be a match I would really like to see. Next up, we do have Heavy Machinery taking on some local talent, and they are basically just killing them. I just love it when you have a big tag team and they're taking on a couple of skinny dudes. It's just fun to watch. The Undisputed Era do make their way onto the entrance ramp. They're, mockingly cheering on the Heavy Machinery, which was great stuff. Heavy Machinery showing off their strength and making quick work of these local peons. And now they are next in line for the NXT Tag Team titles, and that match is going to happen next week. And now it's time for our main event. Aleister Black taking on Johnny Gargano in a rematch from War Games 2, this time inside a steel cage, which is really the match they should have done at War Games, but I'm glad we got it here. So this was, of course, the brainchild of one Tommaso Ciampa. Aleister made his way into the ring, and Johnny Gargano ambushed him from out of nowhere, pulling a page out of Randy Orton's book, and these two brawled on the outside for a little bit until, of course, Black got Gargano into the ring, and the match began. This was absolutely brutal, absolutely just balls to the wall crazy, and it was amazing. Good stuff right here. I think this is exactly what these two needed to elevate their feud going forward. The announcer's putting over the fact that Black wants to focus on Ciampa, but instead he has to deal with his former DIY partner, Johnny Gargano. It's almost like Gargano is doing the dirty work of Tommaso Ciampa in a way, kind of softening him up before TakeOver Phoenix, which is a month away. So I don't know. A lot of cool spots on here. One cool thing that I do need to mention this. I need to mention this. So Aleister Black was on the ropes, and Gargano pulled on the ropes, where of course Johnny Gargano hit his balls on the ropes, and Mauro Ranallo, with the line of the night, he said Gargano has jingled his bells. Mauro Ranallo, you, sir, are a legend. I love you so much. The match did end when Johnny Gargano was mocking Aleister Black, saying, I absolve you of all your sins, like what Black said at War Games. But Black hit the Black Mass, and the referee opened the cage door. Black was about to escape, and as was Gargano, he was also about to climb up the cage. And then, who shuts the cage but Tommaso Ciampa? He comes into the ring, beats up on Black. Gargano comes back into the ring, and they hit a DIY, their double team finisher. They hit that, and they kind of just stare each other down. Gargano picks up the win, and he just stares down Tommaso Ciampa. So it looks like we are getting a DIY reunion, but this time with Gargano and Ciampa as heels. This should be really cool. I would love to see a storyline between Gargano, Ciampa, and Candice LeRae, where Ciampa is Gargano's devil and LeRae is his angel, and both are kind of tormenting Gargano's mind and kind of driving him to madness. I would just love to see something like that. That would be really, really cool. So great stuff here. Really interested in the Gargano Ciampa stuff, and of course looking forward to TakeOver Phoenix, between where Aleister Black and Tommaso Ciampa are going to face off, and Ciampa will put Goldie on the line. So before we move on to 205 Live, I did want to touch up on something, because I think it should be touched up on since I do review NXT on this channel. I did watch Raw this week.
What?
Yeah, I sat through an entire episode of Raw. Well, at least, I missed the first 10 minutes, but then I sat through an entire episode of Raw, and they announced a bunch of call-ups from NXT, and that included Lars Sullivan, who's just lurking perpetually, I guess. Nikki Cross, who we did see earlier this year on SmackDown, taking on Becky Lynch. Heavy Machinery coming up to the main roster. Lacey Evans, who I'm kind of excited about. And, of course, we have the top 1% himself, EC3, or however he does it. I'm kind of interested to see Lars Sullivan. I really just want to see Lars Sullivan versus Braun Strowman. I want to see Charlotte versus Lacey Evans. EC3 versus Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, Elias. I think those are just matches that I would love to see. Heavy Machinery, I actually kind of just want to see them against AOP, Bludgeon Brothers, Sheamus and Cesaro, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have them face the B Team, because both of them are comedy acts essentially. I'd even love to see them against a Revival. As far as Nikki Cross goes, I don't give a damn. I just want her to be booked properly. And matter of fact, I just want a title on that woman's waist. Apparently there's a new era happening in WWE. Where have we heard that before? So we'll see how these people fare on the main roster, but congratulations to all 6 of these guys and gals. Good luck up there, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. 205 Live began with Hideo Itami accompanied by Arya Daivari. Arya Daivari has basically become Itami's mouthpiece, which is pretty cool. He's not too bad on the microphone. He mentions that Itami's feet have a doctorate in stomping people. Okay, fine. He says that this episode of 205 Live is going to be canceled if Itami does not get some real competition. Drake Maverick comes out and says that's not happening. I'm going to give you 2 suspension orders. But of course, Noam Dar comes out, convinces Maverick to give him a match against Itami, to which Maverick agrees, and these two have a damn fine match. I really enjoyed this one. I think this was my favorite match of the night. Noam Dar, with his amazing agility and his high-flying maneuver, coupled with Itami's striking style, in the ring, just really complemented each other. These two are just an amazing match. A little interesting pairing, but a really good pairing at that. The match did end when Noam Dar was going to hit a Nova Rolla off the top rope. Arya Daivari provided a distraction. Itami took advantage and eventually hit his signature move, which is the basement drop kick with a combination knee strike. I'm kind of sad that he's not using the GTS anymore, but then I can kind of understand that people might get reminded of a certain Punk who lives in Chicago, so I can understand why they don't want him to do that. But regardless, this was a fantastic match. So it looks like Lio Rush is getting tired of getting hit in the back by guitars by Elias, so he's come back to 205 Live after Cedric Alexander ended his undefeated streak, and he destroys a local peon. Very short match. He hit 2 final hours on this local peon and won the match. And after the match, he kept on saying the man of the hour is back, and he kept doing this. So obviously he's coming for the Cruiserweight title. Personally, I would love to see Lio Rush as the Cruiserweight champion because I think it would really enhance his character. It is now time for our main event. We have the Submission Commission, Drew Gulak and Gentleman Jack Gallagher taking on Akira Tozawa and a newly groomed Brian Kendrick. That's right, he has cut his hair and shaved off his goatee, looking very reminiscent of what he used to look like in his early days in WWE. He kind of looks a little bit like Gangrel, especially with the puffy shirt that he wears. So, I mean, but it was still good. It's still an interesting look. It's going to take me a while to get used to it. But this was a very fun match, very entertaining stuff here. It pretty much balls to the wall crazy action as well. So I really enjoyed this one too. And you should definitely watch this match along with Itami and Dar. Some really cool spots here. One of the spots I want to talk about, Gulak got Percy Watson's rolly chair, placed Akira Tozawa on it, and pushed him towards Jack Gallagher, who hit him with a drop kick onto the chair. And then later on, Brian Kendrick came in and power slammed both Gulak and Gallagher onto that same chair. So that was really cool. I love that the spot with the rolly chair. It seems like the rolly chair is the most entertaining, with Braun Strowman throwing it at Roman Reigns, and now, all 4 of these men using this rolly chair as a weapon. All kinds of weapons were there. We had mops, we had brooms, we had all kinds of stuff. The only thing missing was a Hattori Hanzo. The match did end with the Brian Kendrick hitting a sliced bread number 2 off the top rope onto Gulak and finally winning the match. So the faces win and beat the heels, finally. And I'm surprised that they still don't have tag team titles for the Cruiserweights yet, because you have Tozawa and Kendrick as a team, Gallagher and Gulak, who call themselves the Submission Commission. Of course, Lucha House Party, TJP and Neville, Mike Kanellis. You have even Tony Nese and the Cruiserweight champion, Buddy Murphy. So you have some tag teams here. Why not give tag team titles to the Cruiserweights? I think that would be really cool. So hopefully that's somewhere down in the pipeline. But anyway, overall, really good match. Really enjoyed it. And this is how 205 Live ended. So I think both shows put out really solid episodes this week. Matches of the night for me on NXT, absolutely Black versus Gargano in the steel cage. Great stuff. Hints at a heel DIY reunion. That would be really cool. I'm excited to see what's in store. And as far as on 205 Live, as much as I loved the street fight between the Submission Commission and Kendrick and Tozawa, I'm going to have to give the match of the night this time to Noam Dar versus Hideo Itami, because this was really good. So that pretty much concludes my review of NXT and 205 Live. Let me know what you guys thought about both shows in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media and tell your friends about the Nerdy Mark. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. This is Sid signing off. Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy New Year. Take care. Bye-bye.